Today, we're going to be showing you how to use your housing portal and application. Step one is you're going to log into inside.sou.edu using your SOU credentials. From there, you'll see a lot of different boxes. One of them is going to be blue and marked online services. From there, you're going to click housing portal and applications. If this option is not available for you, please email us at housing@sou.edu. Clicking this link is going to bring up another page, and if everything has been done correctly, it will auto-log you into your SOU account. You're going to be able to tell this based on your screen name or your email on the left side. Here on this home page, you're going to notice a number of things. If there's any warnings that we're providing to our staff, such as times that the portal is going to be down, that will be listed here. Your student ID will be listed here, as well as your gender. If there's an issue with your gender listed, you can update that in our systems by clicking the link below. To fill out your housing application, you're going to click the Applications tab at the top. From there, you're going to select the appropriate application for the year that you have applied to SOU. Right, in this video, I'm going to be filling out the residence halls application for the 2023-2024 academic year, which starts in September of 2023. The very first page is simply going to indicate that you are beginning an application. It's going to tell you that you are starting an application and contract for the residence halls. It also reminds you that there is a $50 application fee for submitting the application. The first page is going to be your personal details page. This is predominantly polling through our student systems, meaning that all of this information is being populated by the information that you provided to SOU. The first section is going to be just general demographic information. There is a box right here where you need to type in your cell phone number. You won't be able to go past this page until you have filled out this section. The next section, for many people, may be blank. This is pulling a very specific type of address from your SOU account, which is your mailing address. In order to update that, you would go to your Inside SOU page to update it. Finally, the bottom you will also need to fill out is your emergency contact information. You'll provide their name, the relationship, the address, phone number, email, etc. Once you're done, you'll click Save and Continue. The next page, the Requested Modifications page, involves specific needs you might need for housing, including medical or disability accommodation, dietary needs, or other special needs that you wish housing to know. Please note that filling out this section of the application does not necessarily guarantee an accommodation in housing. In order to have an accommodation at SOU, you will want to contact the Office of Disability Resources at 541-552-6213 or through email at dr@sou.edu. This includes requests for single rooms, as well as requests for assistance animals or service animals. Once you have filled out this section, you will click Save and Continue. The next page is your Community Preferences page. The Community Preferences is quite important. It drives both the type of housing you're in, as well as the gender of the room or the suite that you're living in. Typically, we will offer 5 different types of housing, and this is also true for 2023-2024. First, we offer single gender housing. This is where gender is viewed as a binary, in other words, man or woman, and selected or assigned roommates can only be persons of the same gender as you. This is offered in Shasta, McLaughlin, and Madrone Hall. We also offer non-gendered housing. This is where gender is not a binary and is not a consideration when selecting or being assigned roommates and floor mates. You can choose a roommate of the same or a different gender of your own. You may also be assigned a roommate or a suite mate of a different gender. This is also available in Shasta, McLaughlin, and Madrone Hall. In McLaughlin Hall only, we offer multi-gender housing. Multi-gender is a type of community only in McLaughlin where the suite itself is divided by gender. This is typically in your double rooms in McLaughlin, which are 4 bed spaces with 2 separate bedrooms, 2 on the left and 2 on the right of the suite. In a multi-gender suite, the first person to go into the bedroom determines the gender for that particular room, meaning that if you are a male identified student and you select into one half of an open room in a multi-gender housing option in McLaughlin, the other bed space with you will have to be a person of the same gender as your own. However, the other side of the suite is not necessarily going to be of your same gender. If this is not something you're comfortable with, you would want to make sure you're only selecting single gender housing options. Then in Shasta Hall, we have one of our 2 themed housing communities, the Garden, which is for our LGBTQIA+ students. Non-gender principles apply to this option. So the non-gender options, meaning any person of any gender or gender expression, may be in the Garden. This is meant for students of the LGBTQ+ community as well as allies. This does require a separate application through our system. And finally, we have our multicultural themed housing. This is only available in McLaughlin, and this also has single and multi-gender options. This is a community for those who are interested in creating inclusive environments for all communities. Our programming in this floor is centered around diversity, equity, and inclusion. Once you've selected your preference from the drop-down, you will go ahead and click Save and Continue. If you have selected anything other than single gender, you're going to have a second page that you will have to reference. This page simply indicates whether you would take a single room if you were offered one. Please note that the vast majority of students are going to be using our self-selection module. This is the part of the system where you will go on your portal later in the year and you will actually handpick your own room, meaning if there are singles available and you would like one, you will be the one choosing a single. This box checked for single room is merely used in the rare case that a student does not select their own room and we have singles available. So if you would like a single, you will go ahead and click Save and Continue and check that box. Otherwise, you can just click Save and Continue. Here you will select the mandatory meal plan for staying in the residence halls for the academic year. Please note that the meal plans you can select are based on your classification, whether you are a first-year student to SOU, which is defined as someone within 1 year of graduation from high school, or a non-first-year student, such as a transfer student or a returning student. This system is set up to only be a freshman, and so you'll notice I can only view either the red or the black plan. If this is incorrect and you believe that there are other meal plans you should be able to select, please email us at housing@su.edu. You may continue with the application regardless, and we can fix this in case there's an issue on the back end. In order to move forward, I do have to select a meal plan, so I'm going to go ahead and select our unlimited meal plan. And then I click Save and Continue. Finally, we get to the profile questions detail page. This is multiple sets of questions that you're going to fill out to let the system know all about you. It's going to include when you like to go to bed, when you wake up, if you play sports, if you like a quiet living environment, if you like a loud living environment, if you're the life of the party. All of this information is really helpful for both finding other people like you, as well as allowing the system to pair you together with people that it believes you will get along with. In this case, I've already filled out all the questions, but you'll want to make sure to fill them all out before clicking Save and Continue. Here you're going to fill out a roommate profile if you're wishing to look for a roommate or have a roommate look for you. The first thing you'll do is you'll fill out a screen name, and then you're going to include a brief description. This can include any information you wish, so long as it's appropriate. You can also include your socials or other ways to contact you. Please note this description and this screen name will be visible, so long as you've checked the box below to be searchable in the roommate group searching process. If you don't check this box, you will not be viewable on the portal, which means you will not be able to form roommate groups or find a roommate, and you may be assigned someone at random. Not at random, that the system believes is the closest match to you. Please note you will not be forming a roommate group until after you finish the application. So it's not important that you fully fill out this section yet. Finally, you get to the application confirmation page. This goes over the details of our application. It includes information on our non-discrimination clause. It talks about our self-selection process. It also talks about the first year live-on requirement, where all students who are within 1 year of high school graduation must live in the residence halls for their first year. Some exceptions may apply, and you can submit a petition online through the applications link. Finally, it also reminds you that there is a non-refundable $50 application fee for submitting this application. In order to sign, you simply fill out your student ID number on the signature line and click I agree. And that is it. Your application has been submitted for SOU University housing in the residence halls. Please note, more information will be available here on your contract status page. Right now, at this time of year, it's telling me about the self-selection process that's going to happen later in the summer. It's also really important throughout this that you keep a close eye on your SOU email, as that is where we're going to send everything about your self-selection, when you must form a roommate group, when you must confirm your roommate group, and other really important information about move-in and living on campus. Now, we're going to, at the end of this, show you how to form a roommate group so that you can understand this part of the process. Please note, forming a roommate group or being part of a group is not required, but being in a group may increase your odds of getting the particular type of housing that you want. So if you're ready to start forming a roommate group, once you're on this contract status page, you're going to click Save and Continue. You can come back and do this later, but it must be done before you select your room during self-selection. Here, there's a lot of information about the roommate groups process. We prioritize specific sizes of groups of roommate groups for self-selection. The first groups that go first are groups of 4, then groups of 2, and then single applicants with no group. This is done to ensure that we are filling suites within our residence halls of students who have chosen to live together and who have gotten to know each other over the spring quarter and perhaps summer quarter before they move in. So you'll notice here I have a warning at the bottom that I'm currently not in a group. I have a couple different options. I can create my own group. I can also join a group if a group has already existed, perhaps a friend that's told me about their group and has sent me their password. I can search for available roommate groups. I can also search for just a roommate who I might form a group with. And then I can also search for roommates by their profile answers, how they answered those specific questions. Please note, if you go through the entire search for roommates by profiles and select all of the questions, you're likely not to find a roommate, because what it's doing is it's looking for someone who's exactly answered the questions the same way that you're wanting, which isn't always the case and which is rarely found. Finally, you can click the Suggest Roommates option, which is going to allow the system to show you people whose answers to your profile questions and theirs match the closest and that the system believes you might get along with. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and create a roommate group. Here, I'm simply going to type out a roommate group. I'm going to set a password. And I hope I typed the same thing. You want to click to make sure let other people search for the group is an option if you want to make sure that other people can join your group without you having to email them the name or the password. Then you're going to select what type of community you want this group to be in. I selected single gender, so I'm going to want to select that. It does look like I did not put in my password correctly, which I sort of expected. Let me try something a little easier. Make sure your password matches, and then it should go through. Now you'll notice down here at the bottom that your group is now here at the bottom. Please read anytime one of these boxes pops up, especially if it's got a red bar. What it's telling me is that my group is not yet confirmed, which is what I want at this time, because right now, as you can see at the bottom, I'm the only person in my group. You do not want to confirm your group below until you've added everyone to your group and they've agreed to be in your group and you believe that your group is finalized. Remember that we only do groups of 4 or groups of 2. So after this, what I'm going to do is I will search for roommates through the search options. Please note that since no one else has applied for this year in this system, I'm not going to be able to find anyone. But if I were to click search for roommates, it would pop up an option where I could search by gender or age. I could also simply let the system search for anyone. Again, I can also look for roommates based on how they answered their profile. So in most cases, you're going to want most of these to say any, because again, if you select something, for example, that only people who are full-time employed you want to live with, then it's only going to show people who listed that, which means you're not going to see people who are part-time or who are not employed. And you may miss out on some great roommate opportunities. But really try and focus on the particular things that are most important to you. For example, maybe tobacco use or the type of music in the background or when they go to sleep. Once you have all those options, you'll be able to click search. As you search for people, you're going to be able to add them to your account. Again, I'm the only one on here, but there will be a request roommate option. You will click that. That student will then get an email indicating that you want them to join your group. Once they've accepted, they will show up underneath your group here. Once you have your group of 4 or your group of 2, you will go ahead and click confirm group. Once you're done, you'll get the green banner telling you it's confirmed. If you need to make any changes to your group, in case someone wishes to form a different group or they choose to no longer come to SOU, please email us at housing@sou.edu so we can fix your account and open back up your roommate group to add new individuals. Please again note, roommate groups are only for the process before self-selection. If self-selection has already happened and you are being manually placed, or you self-selected and then form your group, the system's not going to do anything. The sole purpose of forming a roommate group is so that when you go select your room, it will automatically pull in your group into the same space. Thank you so much for listening to this video. Again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please give us a call at 541-552-6371 or give us an email at housing@sou.edu. Thank you.